Hello and welcome everyone to round number 11 here at Zenith Online Racing for the Japanese Grand Prix, coming to you from the infamous Suzuka circuit. Can't wait to get into this one, as we are already into this one. Rub 1406 is going to be the first driver out on track, followed closely, well, not very closely, but still followed closely by Excel Jekyll, whom we have not seen in a very long time here in the EU tier. Next car is going to be Excel Cali, and then followed by should be Harry Noir. So let's get back on board with Rub 1406, because he's going to be the first driver to take us on a lap here in Japan. So Rub 1406 crosses the line, crosses the start-finish line, and will embark on his first flying lap, dipping through turn 1 and into turn 2. Goes the Williams driver all over the curb on the inside, 4th gear on the exit, trying to get that tracked in 5th, 6th, through the S's, down to 5th, for turn 4, and now through 5, carrying 5th gear. That's what you want to be doing to carry that speed. And then through turn 6, and then through the infamous turn 7 up the Dunlop curve, 6th gear, almost flat. A little bit of a caution left there for the Williams driver. Up through 7th, and now down towards the Degna, through Degna 1 gear down and turn in, and then down a few more gears, 3 gears to be precise, into Degna 2 and under the bridge. They're going through 130. You are now into the hairpin here at turn number 11 for the Williams drive. 2nd gear on the exit, just trying to find the traction, trying to get that momentum off of the corner. Now through 200R and through turn 12, and now going to be breaking into the spoon curve, turn 13 and turn 14. 6th gear on entry, and then 5th gear, 4th gear to get the car rotated into the corner. 5th gear on the exit, a little bit of a slide there for Rub, but it looks like it has been a pretty decent lap so far for the Williams driver. Now through 130R and over Degna 2, as we said before. Purple in the middle sector, he's the first driver out on track. And now Casio Triangle, turn 16, a little bit of a lock up to 17, and now through 18, where the bump used to be here on the F1 games. Opening up the DRS across the line, 27.8. The first lap of the session. J. Cole about to cross the line as well on his first flying lap. D-rates to the line, 26.4 though, and will put up a pretty decent lap to start off his qualifying session. Let's see what Excel Cali can do on his first lap. He goes P2 there for him. I think Harry Noir is just going to be coming into the pit lane. Is that going to be Ariel Nathan? He's just about to start a lap. Was on pole and did win in Tier 1 on Monday night. Beck about to cross the line. Let's see what the Alpha Tower driver can do. It was a 10 flat for him through the first 2 sectors. 26.4, and will go only 2 thousandths slower than Jekyll. So already getting pretty close here in the EU tier. One of the runners just crossed the line. I think that's Barton. He was starting a lap. Ashes Falcor is going to be a driver completing lap, but unfortunately he has invalidated that said lap time, so he's not going to be able to finish that one. Jinnit, another driver, he has made a mistake because he has backed off and is not using any ERS. Excel Larkin, the next driver, to cross the line. Let's see what type of time it's going to be for Larkin. He's on the medium tires. It's a 10.3, so right now around 3/10 off of where J. Cole and Beck would be in this session. Breaking into the Casio Triangle into 16 through 17. 3rd gear, 4th gear to get that traction, especially on the medium compound. A little bit touch of the curb there, but now through 18. Keeping all the way to the right. It's going to be a 26.5, so I had a pretty decent final sector there for the Mercedes man. One of the Williams, I think that's going to be Rub once again. Alpha Tower, that should be the Great Mass. He's just about to start a lap. Bag of Bones about to cross the line. It was an 11.4 through the first 2 sectors, so not exactly where he would have wanted to be. 28.1 for him in crossing the line. Excel Jekyll, current provisional pole sitter, is crossing or coming into the pit lane now. But now it's going to be Ariel Nathan, a 9.6, absolutely flying in the first 2 sectors. Here is the Ferrari driver, is the championship contender. Let's see what he can do. 25.7 to kick off his session. That's a really good lap there for the Ferrari driver. The Tier 1 championship leader, 2nd place here in the EU tier, only 3 points behind Excel Miami, who unfortunately is not here tonight. So Ariel Nathan, unless he doesn't score any points, well, should, in theory, be able to take this championship lead and take the EU tier championship by the reins for the final few rounds. Ash Falco across the line, 29.2 for the McLaren driver. He goes up into P9. Harry Noir, he's on an outlap. Just coming into the final sector now on the run up towards 130 ZOR, one of the AlphaTauri drivers. That's going to be the Great Mass. Let's see what type of lap time he's going to be doing. I think he's made a little bit of a mistake because, yeah, 15.3 is not exactly going to be competitive. And indeed, he was weaving on the straight, maybe just looking for a little bit of tire temperature. Any other drivers on the laps? Ashes Falcor is coming through Dunlop. Vagabonds is on an in-lap. Rub is on an in-lap as well. Larkin coming just now into the pit lane. Ariel Nathan should be coming into the pit lane soon as well. Harry Noward, I think, is going to be the only driver on a lap, so let's see what Harry Noward can do here through turn 6 and now through 7 for Dunlop. A little bit of a lift there for the Ferrari driver, not able to quite keep it in 7th gear there. Now through Decna 1, looks so quick in these current F1 cars. Through Decna 2, pretty decent traction off of the second Decna, and now on towards turn 11 here at the hairpin. And now going to throw himself down through 200R and on up towards the run through the spoon curve, which leads down to the iconic 130R. But first he does have to navigate said spoon curve. 6th gear on entry there, and then 4th, 4th, and then back up to 5th. Short shifting to try and find that traction, trying to get that jump off of the corner. 7th gear as we make our way down towards 130R. Let's see what type of speed he's going to be doing. It should be easy flat, a little bit of a lift actually. They're not quite full on the throttle there for Heron Warg. Now breaking into the Casio Triangle, 3rd gear for the first part, 4th gear for the second part, and then 5th gear, 6th gear, 7th gear back crossing line. 26.9 goes up into P5 there. Other drivers out on track right now. Excel J. Cole on the soft compound tires. He's on an outlap, as well as Beck, currently 3rd, only 2 thousandths slower than J. Cole on their first flying laps. Harry Ward, we just watched, set his very first lap time to go P5. Excel Cal is out on track on an outlap. Rub is on an outlap as well. The Great Mass is on a lap in the first sector. He is quite low on ERS. Barton, I think, is going to be the next driver on a flying lap. So let's see what Barton can do here. P11 for the time being, and yet to set a lap time is the Renault driver. Right now, P11, Ariel Nathan just on the left side, getting out of the way. He's going to be going for another hot lap very, very soon. But Barton off the track there at turn 4. That's not exactly what you want to be doing. Through 5, through 6, carrying 6th gear. Actually turns the ERS down. He realized that he made a mistake there and will not be continuing on with his lap. I think Beck is going to be the next driver to cross the line. Ariel Nathan there on the right side. Ooh, back. Ooh, invalidates and into the wall, and it's out of the session at Dunlop. Can catch so many drivers off guard there, but now let's ride on board with J. Cole, because he's going to be the next driver to cross the line. Currently on the front row of the grid behind Ariel Nathan. We'll see Beck on the right side. Careful not to pick up a puncture there with all that debris. Purple in the first sector. He's up by 1/10.5 is J. Cole, so this could put him on to a 26.2 for the time being, but he still has 2 more sectors, a few more corners to navigate. A little bit of a lockup, a little bit deep there into the hairpin, but we'll get a pretty decent run off the corner. 3rd gear, a little bit of wheel spin there on the exit for the Red Bull driver. Let's see what he can do now through the final few corners of the lap into the spoon curve. 6th gear, 5th gear. He's not going to go down to 4th. He's just going to keep it in 5th, and we'll try and get that run in the exit. Uses all the track that he possibly can. And now down towards 130R. Let's see what he should be able to keep this flat. 195 miles an hour down to, he loses 3 miles an hour through the apex. Ariel Nathan just starting a lap in front. That'll be a little bit distracting. You can already see having a little bit of a lockup there is J. Cole. But now out of the final 2 corners, and now across the line, D rating 26 flat, 3.5 tenths there for J. Cole. And let's now get on board with Ariel Nathan, because he's going to be the next driver, or one of the next drivers to cross the line, and it's going to be a pretty quick lap, I'm sure, unless Larkin's actually on a lap just in front of him. We can check in with both of these guys' sectors. 5th gear through turn 5, and now through 6 for the Mercedes driver, reserve driver here in the Utes here, and now through Dunlop, not having the same fortunes as Beck. Larkin 2, almost 0.3 of a second up, but Ariel Nathan only 0.5 tenth up in the first sector. So Larkin's on a little bit of a flyer, but you have to remember his first lap was on the medium compounded tires, and now he's on the Red Bull soft compound tires. Ooh, big snap out of the hairpin at turn 11 there, so that should be almost his lap over. Yes, and he will turn the ERS down. Jaco just getting out of the way of Ash's Falcor there. Ariel Nathan is going to be the next driver to cross the line. Previous Excel teammates were Nathan and Larkin. Nathan making a little bit of a mistake there through Spoon. Will try and get a little bit of a slipstream off of Larkin, now weaving on the straight. I think he recognized that he made a mistake there, and now will back off of his lap, or should at least, unless he wants to keep on going. I don't think he will. They both shouldn't, considering they made mistakes on the lap. DJ Panda has joined the session. Yes, Nathan and Larkin will both be into the pit lane there. Ash's Falcor lap crosses the line. He was up 0.8 of a second in the middle sector and loses a little bit through the final sector, but he will be up into P9 now on a 128.532 for the McLaren driver. Bag of Bones just about to cross the line. He's up by 6.5 and will find even more. He'll go up to P7 with a second improvement there for the Renault driver. P7, not too bad on a 27.2. Barton, Purple Squirrel, and Jinnit yet to set laps here. Barton and Jinnit are on outlaps. Purple Squirrel is still in the pit lane. So let's get on board with another driver who's on a lap. I don't think anyone actually is. The only drivers out on track are Harry Noir, who's is on a lap, Rub, Bag of Bones, and Ashes. The final two not on laps currently. We did see them finish their laps, so let's ride on board with Harry Noir. He's up by 1.5 in the first sector. He'll still need to find more time if he wants to challenge Larkin for that P4, but we already know Larkin has 3/10 at least in that Mercedes car. Harry Noir in the Ferrari out of turn 11 and now through this very long sweeping right-hander of turn 12. Now through the long, less long, shorter, but still very, very sweeping left-hander of turn 13 and of turn 14, and now on the run down towards turn 15 and 130R. Named by 130R for being 130 degrees in radius is that corner, as well as a 200R. Harry Noir through 16 through 17. Ooh, and that's going to be his lap over. Up by 1/10.5. Purple in the middle sector was Harry Noir, but not quite able to keep it on the track. Barton and Jinnit are both on laps. Jinnit is going to be the further along of the two here. The Great Mass splitting those two drivers, but is indeed on an out lap. Jinnit heading through 130R has actually backed off of his lap, so it's never mind. Barton is going to be the next driver to cross the line. It was Purple in the middle sector. Let's see if he can improve at all on this lap. Already into the 1 minute 23s is the Renault driver. Crossing the line, it's going to be a 1 minute 26.5, and he'll put himself in front of Larkin, in front of Harry Noir. I'm not sure how long he'll be in front of Larkin, but he was definitely P4 for the time being. So now let's get back on board with Jinnit, who's actually pulled into the pit lane and is not going to be completing that lap. The Great Mass and Larkin, as well as Barton, all the drivers out on track. Barton's going to be on an in-lap. Excel Larkin is on an out-lap. And the Great Mass is on a flying lap in the Alpha Tauri, just heading through Degna 2. Fourth gear on the apex there, goes a little bit wide actually, and off into the gravel. Another lockup there, maybe getting a little bit of that gravel on his tires into the hairpin. That's not exactly what you would have wanted. He's lucky not to invalidate actually his lap time there, but now heading through turn 12 and now into turn 13. Pretty decent turn in 6th gear, 5th gear, going back up to 6th and then back down to 4th for the second part of Spoon. Now using all the track that he really would have wanted to. He's weaving down the straight, so I don't know if he's going to be backing off and going for another one, but there's only 2.5 minutes left here in the session. Yeah, he's down by 1.6 seconds on his lap. DJ Penn is on a lap right now, but he's heading through Degna 1 and through the Degnas and has actually backed off of his lap. The Great Mass is going to be going again here, I do think. Yeah, 1.8 seconds down. Not exactly what you would be wanting from a final flying lap. DJ Penn is was on a lap, but is not anymore. He backed off. He's going to be going for another one. Ashes Falcor is on an out lap. He's heading he's heading down towards the Degnas. Rub is on an out lap, heading down towards 130R. Vagabond just exited the pit lane on an out lap. Harry Noirg is following Rub on the way down towards 130R, as well as Ariel Nathan is going to be in the S's in the first sector. J. Cole's on a lap, so that's actually right on board with J. Cole because he's going to be the first driver to complete a lap. Actually, no, he's not, because he's actually backed off. Interestingly enough, he might just be on an out lap there. So any other drivers on laps? DJ Penna backing off here. He's going to be looking to go for one. The Great Mass was on a lap, but unfortunately has invalidated. Ashes Falcor, Cali, Background's all on out laps. Rob, as Barton retires in the pit lane, his session is going to be over. The highest he will start is going to be P4. Rob on a lap is on an out lap. Harry Noir is on a lap in the first sector. Heading through turn 6 here is the Ferrari driver. He really needs to have a pretty big performance, because right now he's only sixth in the championship and is trying to help his Ferrari team win the constructors championship, up by 0.3 of a second in the first sector. So Harry Noir is on a really good flying lap here for the time being. Into the hairpin, third gear, fourth gear for the Ferrari driver. So a little bit questionable, but does get the power down very nicely out of turn 11. Let's see what he can do through turn 12, through turn 13, throughout the rest of the lap. Braking into Spoon, a little bit of grass there on the right side tires on the entry, but now through turn 14, fifth gear, through on the apex, and through the exit up to 6, just to get a little bit more stability towards the end of that curb. Crossing the middle sector split line is a 10.2. He's only found a little bit more time. He's up by 0.4 of a second, so this could put him in theory in front of Barton, depending on his final sector. But now through that final sector, makes a little bit of mistake, goes a little bit wide, has a little bit of a slide as well through turn 17, and across the line he loses so much time. He only improves by 1/10.5. Is going to be the fourth driver to finish his qualifying session. Excel Larkin's on a lap. He's up by 0.2 of a second, so that could put him P4. Jekyll's on a lap in the first sector. Ariel Nathan's on a lap in the middle sector, but is actually right behind Larkin on his lap on the soft compound tires, while Larkin is on a lap on the medium compounded tires. Jinnit was on a lap, but he is unfortunately invalidated. Ashes Falcor is invalidated as well. Callie's on a lap in the middle sector. Backbones is on a lap in the middle sector. Rob has had an off through Dunlop. So let's get back on board with Excel Larkin. Ariel Nathan just in behind him. About to cross the middle sector split line is Larkin. He's up by 1/10.5, so has lost 1/10 of a second on his lap. Was Nathan up? I don't quite think he was. Nathan braking into the Casio triangle, trying to get a little bit of a slipstream, but Larkin is going to be just in behind, or just in front of him. Larkin goes up to P3, and Nathan sets the fastest lap here in qualifying, a 1:25.404, and he will be on a pole position. Any other drivers on laps? I think Callie was on one in the final sector now. He's up by 3.5 of a second, so this could put him possibly into P8 if he finds a little bit more on this lap. Crosses the line, goes P7, and is able to go in front there of Rub and of Bagbones on the 26.8. So that should indeed be qualifying over. Ariel Nathan, J. Cole, Larkin are going to be the top 3. All previous Excel drivers, J. Cole, Larkin still being on the Excel team. Beck, Barton, Harry Noir, Callie, Bagbones, Rub, as we see they're getting all out of shape. Ashes Falcor are going to be the top 10 here in qualifying. The Great Mass, DJ Panda, Purple Squirrel, and Jinnit will be outside the top 10. DJ Panda, Purple Squirrel, and Jinnit all not setting lap times here tonight. So, Ariel Nathan will take another pole position, and I believe that is going to be his 6th pole position of the season, so has taken over half of the pole positions here in the EU tier. Jekyll will be P2, first on the front row in his EU tier debut for Season 5 of Zenith Online Racing. So Larkin will be P3, followed by Beck 9000, followed by Barton 1, 2, 3, a second off there. Harry Noir, Giselle, Cali, Vagabonds, Rob Ash's Falcor will be the rest of the top 10, 3.1 seconds separating the top 10. The Great Mass, a further 4/10 of a second back out in P11. DJ Pan and Purple Squirrel and Jinnit were infinitely behind Ariel Nathan there because they did not set lap times. So it should be quite the interesting race, hopefully, here for the EU tier. Ariel Nathan, well, as well, it has happened in more than most of the races. He has taken a pole position. Taking over half of the pole positions now. He's taken 6 out of 11. That is officially confirmed here. Rob and Jacob will both ready up, and we can get on to the formation lap eventually here. So we can't see what the tire choices are going to be for the drivers outside of the top 10. Here in Japan, it's a pretty easy one-stop, soft to medium or medium to soft. The hard tires, if there is a lap 1 safety car, can make it to the end if your tire wear is good enough. It doesn't have to be too good, but as long as you have some pretty decent tire wear, you should be fine. These drivers will now embark onto the formation lap. We can look at the tires. Alexel Larkin obviously qualified on the medium compounded tires. And Jinnit, outside of the top 10, is going to be the only driver starting on the medium compound. I'm surprised Purple, DJ Penna, and the Great Mass all did not decide to go for said medium tires. Because they can't try to make that alternate strategy work. Ariel Nathan, though, will lead us away from pole position here in Japan. Around halfway, or just past halfway here on the formation lap for round number 11 of Zenith Online Racing for the EU tier here in Japan. Looking forward to this one as per usual for this race. Excel Larkin lagging just a little bit there in the background. Yeah, really lagging. There is the Mercedes driver, let's talk a little bit about this championship, since we do indeed have the time. Excel Miami leads on 164, who obviously is not here tonight. Ariel Nathan, who is going to be starting from pole position, will be on 161. Janet is on 87. Kali is on 85. Dylan is on 82. So really close between those two, between those three drivers. Harry Noir a little bit further back is going to be on 64, tied with Barton 123, who is 7 points in front of his Renault teammate in Vagabonds, who's on 57 points. JXW is 10 points back, and Toxic MML is one further back on 47 and 46 points respectively. Beck is on 23, Zamongos is on 10, Gin and Juice and DJ Penna are on 3 and 2 each, and then Smith, Rocco, Ashes Falco, Purple Squirrel, and the Great Mass, as well as Rob, yet to score points here, but all the drivers have lined up on the grid after the formation lap. So let's see what these drivers can do off of the start here. It's going to be a tight run down towards turn 1. It always closes up there through the field, but now we have 5 lights here in Japan. Lights out and away we go. Looked like a pretty decent start there for Larkin. They're in 3rd place on the medium compound the tires. Jekyll did not get the greatest of starts, but Ariel Nathan will lead into turn 1, followed by Larkin, followed by Jekyll, who did not get the greatest of starts. Beck and Harry Noir trying to go side by side through turn 2 and now through the S's for the AlphaTauri driver and for the Ferrari. The 2 Italian-based teams are going side by side here in Japan. I think Harry Noir will just get that position. Yellow flag further down. I think that's going to be for Jinnit or either for Ash's foul core. Barton, P6, trying to make his way past the back. Callie just in behind, followed by Rupp, followed by Purple Squirrel, Vagabonds, DJ Pennant, Ashes Falcor, the Great Mass, all in pursuit as well. Jinnit had a spin on lap 1, so he's going to be further down the field. Barton versus Beck. Let's ride on board with this battle here for P5 on lap number 1. 27 laps here in total for these drivers. Let's see how they will cope and will be able to deal with these race conditions. It should be, or at least it looks all dry right now. Vagabonds and as well as DJ Panda on the back of Purple Scroll. DJ Panda trying to go around the outside of Vagabonds in turn 13 and at the spoon curve, and we'll have a big swabber of oversteer there just on the curb on the exit of turn 13 on the entry to turn 14. That's not exactly what he would have wanted in his Alfa Romeo. The Great Mass on the back of Ash's Falcor going to be going up the inside at 130 yard. The AlphaTauri and the McLaren going side by side, and the McLaren will keep the position for the time being, but use quite a bit of ERS. The Great Mass will just have to slot in behind for the time being, but now it's going to be Barton versus Beck for P4. For P5, I think this is. Barton is going to be switching to the outside, just in behind Harry Noir. Beck will squeeze him to the outside line, and will keep the position for the time being. Barton has a big snap on the exit there of turn 2, and now Callie will be brought right back into things here for this battle for P5, and now even really for P4, because they're right now on the back of Harry Noir, who's trying to stay with Excel Jekyll just a little bit further up the road, who cannot quite stick with the drivers in front of him. Is actually DJ Panda is out of the running here in Japan, and we have a virtual safety car there at Dunlop, well, on the entry to the Dunlop curve. So maybe getting caught up in an incident with another driver. Let's see if any drivers have wing damage. I don't think any will. But it is a weird place to crash there for DJ Panda. Yeah, I don't think anyone will have wing damage as we do go green flags once again. The Vagabonds and Purple Squirrel will be swapping positions, and Vagabonds will be up into P8 and now only 0.2 of a second, which is completely wrong, off of Rub there just a little bit further in front of him. Ariel Nathan up at the front of the field leads from Excel Larkin by 1.5 seconds, leads to Jekyll by another 1.5 seconds. Harry Noir 1 second in behind that, trying to stick with the Red Bull driver. Beck 0.6 back, Barton 0.2 back, trying to challenge the AlphaTauri. Excel Cali is within DRS range and behind them. Rub 1.8 seconds behind Vagabonds, just barely within DRS range. It will get activated on this lap and will be able to use that one DRS straight. Purple Scroll 1.3, followed by the Great Mass 1.8, Ash's Falcor 2.8. And Jinnit, who is 2.8 seconds behind, and DJ Panda P14 will not be finishing this Grand Prix. So let's get back on board with Beck and Barton 1, 2, 3, because they're battling it out right now for P4. Barton is right on the back of Beck going into the Casio triangle, but the run-on driver not quite close enough there into turn 16. Let's see what he can do through, big snap of oversteer there for Beck. And now this is going to be Barton's opportunity. Both of them will have DRS, and now they're going to be closing on Harry Noir on the Ferrari just in front of the AlphaTauri. Will go to the inside. Beck, or Barton will have to stay in behind, but Beck will be up the inside of the Ferrari driver. A little bit of contact between Barton and Harry Noir there on the left front to right rear between the Renault and of the Ferrari. Not going to be quite close enough to gain the position on Harry into the S's, but yeah, now this is going to be Beck's opportunity to try and pull away from the rest of the field. He doesn't really need Harry Noir to tow him around, so he made his move, and now he'll be trying to stay there up in front. But Barton, sad news for Barton, he's not going to be able to quite get through, because obviously the driver in front of him will have DRS, will have slipstream, so you will have to be very clever with your strategy, or very clever just in general, and hope for a good safety car or something. Ariel, Nathan, Excel, Larkin, and Excel Jake will still lead this race 1, 2, 3 for those guys. Ariel, Nathan, as well as everyone bar Janet and Larkin, who are P2 and P12 and P2 respectively, are on the soft compound tires and should be making a pit stop quite early on here in this race, maybe around lap 9, 10, and then you only have to do around 17, 18 laps of the Suzuka circuit here till you get towards the end of the race. The drivers close out on, or the closest out on track right now. Harry Noir, back to Harry Noir, to Barton, to Callie. They're all separated by around 2 seconds, I want to say. Just under 2 seconds, maybe 0.8 for both of those guys, but yeah. Going on to lap 6 here for Beck, for Harry Noir, for Barton, for all of these drivers. Ariel Nathan leads them on to lap 6, and he is still leading for these guys. Larkin in pursuit, as well as Jekyll just in behind, but Larkin is obviously on that different strategy, on the medium soft strategy for him. So well-timed safety car could definitely bring him right back into contention here. Many other drivers, I would say no, that I'm really worried about. Actually, the Great Mass has just retired, and now we have a virtual safety car, a full course yellow, so all the drivers will be absolutely neutralized for the time being, and everyone will have to slow down and respect their deltas. Keep them green. And keep them positive. Not quite a pit window for anyone, as Rub actually gets a drive-through, being passed by Bagbones there on the VSC restart, so he loses the position even without the drive-through penalty. Let's see what he would have done, could have done. I just finished one of them. Or, yeah. Let's get it back on board at this battle for P4 right now. Gap between Beck and J. Cole is indeed 3.6 seconds. Harry Noir, 3.5 back, is ever more closing. Not quite close enough to get the position back, just waiting in the wings, trying to wait for an opportunity to bring himself back into this one rub, or pull into the pit lane and serve his drive-through penalty. That is not a pit stop, that is indeed a drive-through penalty there for Rub. So while we have a little bit of we don't really have a break in the action because Zenith's right on the back of Purple Score on to turn 11. P10 and P9 fighting for P9 here out on track. Zenith is on the medium tires, as you can see there. On the side walls of the tire, his teammate in the Ferrari is on a solid tire compound change, as well as not being able to mop it correctly. Zenith has indeed now made his way past Purple Squirrel. Therefore, the McLaren driver is starting to steadily make his way indeed through the field, but now it's going to be Barton versus Harry Noirg versus Callie. Is Barton? Well, Harry Noirg has been overtaken, but I'm not sure if they made mistakes there for Callie and for Barton. But anyways, the running driver is now up into 5th place and up into that the top 5 that Harry Noirg has been getting very much closer to in the last few races. Nothing quite that much to talk about right now. Just riding on board with Harry Noirg, trying to see when these pit stops will come into play. Drivers into the pit lane, interestingly enough. Larkin pits from mediums to mediums. Barton pits from mediums to hards. So that's a little bit of a questionable strategy there for Barton, but he will definitely be able to make it to the end of the race. Larkin is now forced onto a 2-stop because he did indeed go mediums in quali. So now Nathan has the opportunity to choose to be able to respond to Excel Larkin. He's on the soft compound tires, 8 laps old for him. And now Excel J. Cole is trying to involve himself as well in this battle. Riding on board with Larkin here, just watching and trying to get through the field here. His first victim, his first point of interest is going to be Zenith. Larkin's still on his way up after his first pit stop. But yeah, trying right now to get these guys into the pit lane as Larkin and Zenith will go side by side, and Larkin, who started on the medium compounded tires, will be now the leader of the medium compounded tires out of the drivers who are on them. Rub retires in the pit lane and will finish will not finish. Or wait, what? No, he's not retired yet, actually. Never mind.
But Ariel Nathan has most definitely not retired, and neither has Eloy Gary. So, like, was yes, so yeah, Nathan still leads on lap 10 right now. I believe he's going to be going into the final sector just now. With Excel Jacob 6.8 seconds behind me. But now, oh, getting back to the race now, as Ariel Nathan has finally come into the pit lane, and Excel Larkin has indeed attempted to make that undercut work. He's currently P3 now, only 1.1 seconds behind. Behind Ariel Nathan. Both of them are going to be going on to medium compounded tires. Beck has stayed out on the softs, as well as Janet on the mediums. J. Cole Barton is going to be on the mediums and the hards, respectively, for those two drivers. Excel Cali will be P7, followed by Beckmans, who has a time penalty, followed by Harry Nowak, followed by Purple Squirrel, who also has a time penalty, followed by Rob, and followed by Ash Falco, the only final two drivers in the lobby. Drivers attempting to do battle right now. Nathan versus Larkin, who Larkin is on that mandatory, is on that two-stop because he pitted twice onto the mediums. Janet is 2 seconds behind, followed by J. Cole, another 2 seconds behind. Barton, 7.5, back 7/10. Excel Cali is 2.5. Bagbones is 2.1. Harry Noirg, 1.3 behind. Purple Squirrel, 15.8 seconds behind. The next driver in front of him is actually Ariel Nathan. Picks up a 3-second time penalty through the Casio triangle. Trying to set fast as lava. 128.9 is a very, very, very quick lap time. But it's not quite quick if you can't keep it in a straight line. Purple right now P10. Rob is P11 outside of the points, as well as Ash's Falco, where those two drivers are starting to close in on one another. Barton versus Beck. Beck is right on the back of the Renault driver, but not quite close enough into the second corner or through the first two corners. So the Renault driver will, for now, keep P5. just realized that my mic was muted. But anyways, yes, Bag of Bones is still in P9, right on the back of Harry Noir. Ooh, off into the gravel goes Bag of Bones, and that is going to be his challenge for 8th place over, especially since he did have that time penalty. Right now on lap number 15, only a few battles going on throughout the field. Zenith, who is yet to pit in this race, is still in P4 on the back of J. Cole, who should have just gotten past. Beck made a pit stop and was able to get past Barton, who makes a mistake there on his hard compound tires. Excel Cali now trying to chase down the Renault driver, but we can kind of just ride on board with Nathan because no one is quite close enough to make an overtake quite yet, and I can put in the qualifying results into the standings there for these guys. So yes, Ariel Nathan, Excel Lando was on pole position, followed by Excel J. Cole, who is not there anyways, and there's Excel Larkin. No one quite close enough into DRS range quite yet. Beck, and then it was Barton. And then there's Harry Noir and Excel Cali. Excel Cali, and then Bag of Bones. And then there's Ruben. Rob. Ash's Falcor and the Great Mass. DJ Pando and Purple Squirrel and F1 Zenith Win It did not set a lap time, so drivers softs. I believe Larkin was on the mediums. And then no time for the final. Here we go. Can my down arrow not work or something? Still no one within DRS range here, as Zenith will finally come into the pit lane to get off of the medium tires that he did indeed start on. So let's get on board with the McLaren pit crew here, and he will go on to a fresh set of soft compound tires. Does F1 Zenith to win it. He should be just in behind Harry Noir, maybe in front of Bag of Bones here, maybe just in behind Bag of Bones. I'm not entirely sure. I think he should be in behind the runner. They may be coming out side by side here. No, Bag of Bones will be further in front there. So now we can ride on board with Zenith to win it, because he is within DRS range of the Renault driver, going to be trying to make his way back through the field after not setting a lap time in qualifying. Is actually Bag of Bones has just binned it there off the track. So yeah, now that's one free position there for Zenith to win it, and now he will be on his way onto the back of Harry Noir. That's one free move that he does not need to make now. I'm only going to fill in the important details for the time being. Now we can do the Tier 2 results as well. We're going to open this in a new tab. We're going to open the Tier 2 results in a new tab. We're also going to open up the Tier 1 results in a new tab, and we can start to begin to fill out all of this stuff here. Zenith clothing very quickly onto the back of Harry Noir. What happened to DJ Panda? DJ Panda has sent in his crash from his unfortunate crash. He was just on the curb here. If you want to ride on board with Zenith, here on the inside, he was just on this curb, and it kind of sucked him into the wall there. He was along the wall, and then a little bit of a barrier glitch, and then he was
lost his tire. So that was very unfortunate there for him. Now running on board with Zenith to win at 1.6 seconds off the back of Harry Noir, looking to make his impact on this race right now. So Zenith is now right onto the back of Harry Noir. Has a little bit of a mistake there off of the penultimate corner and improves on his personal best by 9/10 of a second, but not quite the fastest lap there for Zenith. Has DRS down towards turn 1, but not going to be close enough to make his move onto the Ferrari driver. Once he does get past Harry Noir here, he's going to have to close in around 6 seconds to excel Callie, who is, as I mentioned, that far up the road there, only a little bit less now. He can begin to make his way through the field as well. If he can get past Harry Noir here quite quick enough, he only has to close down those 5.4 seconds and then get to Callie 3 seconds up to Barton, and 2.2 up to Beck, and have to find himself in a solid P3 or P4 position into the turn 11 into the hairpin. Not quite close enough is Zenith. Maybe looking for a switchback, but not going to quite get that move done there into the hairpin. Harry Noir moves over to the right side for 200R through turn 12, but Zenith is just going to have this move done. He carries the momentum through the corner and will get that position now down towards 130R. And now he has 5.2 seconds to close down to Excel Callie. Harry Noir did not fight that one too hard, as now Excel Larkin will come into the pit lane for a fresh set of soft compound tires. So where is he going to be coming out? He will be behind J. Cole. Should be, I think he'll be behind. No, he's going to be either in front or side by side with Barton. What's going on here? Side by side in turn 1. Barton and Larkin going side by side into the first few corners here. Larkin, Barton going side by side through turn 3, and we'll get that position. Does Excel Larkin. That's a type of racecraft that you will get here in Zenith Online Racing. Larkin is up into P4 after making that pit stop, and now has 2.6 seconds to close down to Beck, who does have indeed a 3-second time penalty I am aware of. Yes, he does. Yellow flag as Ash's Falcor has retired from the session, and now we have a virtual safety car. So this kind of helps the people who have just pit, especially Larkin. It just gives them a little bit more ERS, but obviously the drivers in behind now will have a little bit more ERS as well. Zenith loses a little bit of time, but he's not going to be taking as much out of his tires. Sees where his teammate's car has been laid to rest, if you want to say that. Harry Noir just in behind them as well, but Ariel Nathan is still leading this race. Around 10.5 seconds is the gap for Nathan. Excel J. Cole, 10.8 seconds, is actually going to be coming into the pit lane here. Is he going to be bidding for fastest lap? Blocks up into the chicane. And now the VSC will end as Barton picks up a drive-through time penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. That's really going to hurt his chances in this race. Baggerbones picks up a 3-second time penalty as well. J. Cole is still in the pit lane as Beck go past, Larkin go past, Barton go past, and Calvi will go past as well, I think. Yeah, he will. So now J. Cole made his half his pit stop under the VSC, but now we'll be down into P6, and now we'll have positions to make up. Ariel Nathan P1 by a solid 23.3 seconds. Harry Noir pits as well. I'm not exactly sure why, because now he's actually losing positions out on track there. He only lost the one, I guess, to Baggerbones, but yeah, anyways. Ariel Nathan leads. Beck is in P2, followed by Larkin, who's on a fresh set of soft compound tires, and should make quick work of Beck and should be able to get on towards the fastest lap of the race. Burton, 1.6 seconds and behind on the hard compound tires. Excel Cali, 3.3 behind on the mediums. J. Cole just behind him and should do the same to Cali that Larkin is going to do to Beck. Excel F1 Zenith to win it, 3 seconds and behind
now, so has a little bit of chance if he can possibly get up to the podium, if he can make his way onto the back of J. Cole and further along his points places. Larkin making his way past Beck as he gets purple middle sector by is improving on his personal best by 0.8 of a second. Beck just in behind Larkin is going to be staying P2 for the time being. And we'll get the run out of the penultimate and the final corners and sets fastest lap on a 128.1, improving on his personal best by a full second. Barton will come into the pit lane to serve his drive-through penalty. Now J. Cole has made his way past Excel Cali as well, but now Jinnit will be up into P6 after starting from absolutely dead last from P14. A pretty decent race here already. A pretty decent race put together here for Jinnit. Now it's just have to get onto the back of Cali and could secure a top 5 finish here tonight. Cali falling off the back of J. Cole, but J. Cole trying to close down Beck, but Beck was able to secure DRS and was up by 0.4 on his personal best just in the first sector, trying to stay with Larkin. Was not going to be quite able to do so. Ariel Nathan on a lap has saved up quite a bit of ERS. Maybe he's looking to come into the pit lane here and set fastest lap of the race and then use that ERS just to pull away. He's only 0.2 off his personal best. Let's see what Nathan is going to do here on this lap. I wouldn't be surprised, to be completely honest, if he decides to come into the pit lane. And nope, he's going to be staying out for this one. Let's ride on board now with F1 Jinnit to win. It's 1.1 seconds behind Excel Cali, trying to close him down on this lap. J. Cole not closing as quickly as I would have expected onto the back as all these guys will be crossing the line. Now J. Cole 0.5 of a second in behind the AlphaTauri driver, but now just waiting for some of these guys to catch onto the back and make things a little bit more interesting. Jinnit now in the first sector. The soft tires should have a pretty big advantage. They do have a 6-lap tire advantage on Cali's 11-lap old medium tire. Should be able to close throughout the first sector, and most definitely is. Should be able to get a move done on the next lap, or possibly on this lap, depending on how much Jinnit is catching on this lap. J. Cole's already caught back by 0.6 of a second. Jinnit a little bit in the grass there on the entry to Degna 1, but doesn't upset his car too much, it doesn't seem, and is slowly trying to make his way through the field. Jinnit is indeed now within DRS range, but won't have it until they are on that pit straight. J. Cole trying to get onto the back of Beck as we have a Mercedes in the pit lane. It's going to be Larkin in the pit lane, actually, which is interesting. He fits on another fresh set of soft compound tires. He's going to be dropping in behind Cali and Jinnit, so he's going to be dropping down to P6. So now Jinnit can get a possible P4 here for the McLaren driver. Larkin just going for some quick hot laps, it seems here. Obviously, as a reserve driver, will not be scoring any points in the the EU Championship. Jinnit, you can see right on the gearbox here of Excel Cali, just cannot go anywhere for the time being. Rob a little bit further down the field is trying to close down Purple Squirrel for possibly his first points of the season, but Purple I don't think is going to be giving that up very quickly for the time being. Jinnit looking through turn 11 through the hairpin there was not going to be quite close enough. Rob, as we mentioned, further down the field, trying to get onto the back of his possible first points of the season. It would be a pretty decent run for him. Right now, P11, 1 position off of a set of points, and is not doing it too badly. But Ariel Nathan still leads this race as we are on lap 25 now, or at least Nathan is. Beck just going into the Casio Triangle on lap 24. He's on the medium compound tires. J. Cole has caught him, but not by enough. He's catching by a decent amount, but not quite close enough. 3.1 seconds is the gap across the line. We have yellow flag. Oh, that's Rob. As I just started talking about him, he spins at Dunlop, makes that one mistake. So he's now no longer right on the back of his first points of the season, but now 6.5 seconds back. Excel J. Cole, still P3, catching back, trying to. He's caught 2/10 on this lap, just through the S's, 3/10 now for J. Cole. Callie 4.4 seconds back, but Jinnit is right on the back of the Mercedes driver, who's a little bit more ERS than he does, but not that much more that would make enough of a difference, I don't think. Jinnit's still trying to get on the back of him. Larkin is on a fast lap right now, and behind these guys, he's 8.6 seconds back. I don't think he'll quite close down these guys, but I'm sure he wouldn't be too far off by the end of the race. Still watching on board here with the battle for P4. Callie's trying to hold on to this. He really needs this since Nathan's up at the front of the field winning the race, especially for Mercedes results here. Ooh, Jinnit has had a little bit of an off there and now has gone almost off into the gravel. Now that should be Callie's P4 absolutely solidified there for that one. As now Nathan is on to the penultimate lap of the race, so he should be securing his race win here in Japan, unless he decides to bin it off on the final lap, which I would not be entirely surprised, to be completely honest. Beck, I think, is going to be securing, actually no, he's not going to be securing a P3, because he does have that 3-second time penalty. So actually, Excel J. Cole, for the time being, will be taking that P2. Beck will be taking P3 for the time being. Excel Callie should be in P4. F1 Jinnit to win it should be P5. And Excel Larkin should be P6. Barton and Bagabones, the two Renaults, looking pretty decent for the time being. Barton has 3 seconds, and Bagabones has 8 seconds of time penalties. So right now it would be Barton. And then Harry Noirg, and then Bagabones, depending obviously on if anyone decides to make any mistakes. Purple Squirrel should be picking up that 1 points position, and then it'll be Rub in P11. So unfortunate there for Rub. Was right on the back of his first points of the season, and then making a mistake through Dunlop. Absolutely terrible is that Dunlop curve if you do indeed get it wrong. Next driver, Barton. He's on 3. 8. Actually, Rob would not have gotten it anyways, because he's actually on 14 seconds of penalties, so I don't know what I am saying. But yeah, he could have finished there in a points position out on track. I think Rob has just spun again, once again. Did Dunlop curve? Yes, indeed he has. Very, very unfortunate there for him. J. Cole is actually getting onto the back of Beck here on this final lap. So it's been closing, but not quite close enough, has been J. Cole. But let's get on board with Nathan now, because he is going to be going on to win this race and is using all of his ERS, attempting to get this fastest lap. He's a 10.5 down on his personal best, even though he's used all of his ERS. Not going to be quite close enough to that fastest lap. Here is Nathan through the final chicane, weaving down the back straight down towards the 130R. And this is going to be his race win here in Japan. He does indeed let Purple Scroll through, though, so Purple Scroll will indeed have to do another lap, and now it's going to be Beck versus J. Cole, down towards 130R and down towards the Casio Triangle. J. Cole's going to be in the slipstream, but doesn't have any ERS. Will stay over to the left side for the shortest run. Beck, breaking in the Casio Triangle, will secure the position for the time being. Rob finishes the race as well. Let's see what J. Cole can do. Beck's taking the wide line, J. Cole taking the short line. It's going to be a close finish, but J. Cole would not have beaten him. It would have been under a 10th of a second at the finish there, but now it's going to be Callie versus Jinnit as well. Jinnit was able to close down Callie once again, but not quite close enough to make the move. Excel Larkin will be finishing P6. Barton will finish P7. Bagabones will finish P8 on track, but Harry Noirg will take that place. Obviously,
with time penalties, because Baggy Bones does indeed have 8 seconds. And he does serve that now, 5-second time penalty. Harry Noir will finish P8 there, and then Purple Squirrel will be finishing P10. Hopefully we can get these drivers now into the box, and we can begin to talk to them. Where is fastest lap? There is fastest lap. It was Excel Larkin. And they have 1 minute. 27.760 for fastest lap there for the reserve driver. So yeah, Nathan will win it from Jaco, from Beck, all on the podium. Callie, Janet, Larkin, Barton, Harry Noir, Vagabonds, and Purple Squirrel will all pick up points. Larkin will take the fastest lap on a 127.7. Janet, deservedly, wins driver of the day from the fans. Rob will be the last driver to finish the race. Ashes Falcor retired quite late on. The Great Mass DJ Panda retired quite early on, as Michael Schumacher stands on the podium there in his Ferrari. So yeah, now to run you through the final results. Ariel Nathan, Excel J. Beck 9000, Excel Cali F1 Janet to win, Excel Larkin, Barton 123, Harry Noir, Bag of Bones, Purple Scroll will be the points finishers. And fastest lap will go to Excel Larkin. Rub 1406 will be the last driver to finish, and he was indeed a lap down. Ashes Falcor will be P12, the Great Mass P13, and DJ Panda 122 White Sea will be P14. All of those last three not finishing the race. Larkin gets fastest lap on a 127.760, and Janet will take the drivers of the day from P14 to P5. Other driver of the day, have to say Nathan and Callie, the three deserving drivers from that grid today. Fuzz in the chat saying that Beck actually reached the podium is crazy. Yes, I can agree on that statement there. Let's get Nathan, J. Cole, and Beck all into the party here. I think Ariel and Nathan should be already in the party. Yes, Nathan is already in the party. Let's get Beck in here. Beck 9000. Yep, there we go. And then let's add Excel underscore J. Cole. There we go. And everyone should be now added into the party. Just waiting for these guys to join the party. Just waiting, as always, for these guys.
Nathan, unfortunately, is not going to be able to join the interviews today, so hopefully Beck and J. Cole can get in here. J. Cole is now here. Just, I guess, have to re-add Beck. Beck 9000. Oh, I added him, but I guess not. That's amazing. Anyways, J. Cole.
Packer.
I do believe your voice would be on share.
I would like to think so.
Amazing. So yeah, race from your perspective, qualified on the front row, didn't have the greatest of starts, lost out to Larkin there on lap 1, and then it was a little bit of a quiet one, and then I don't want to tell your entire race, but not much else happened after that besides the pit stop under the VSC.
Yeah, it was just a bit of a quiet race, you know, as it is. Kind of just chilled out and, well, I saw Larkin going in the pit. I wanted to try and maybe go for a fastest lap. Tell you now, it did not work. At the start, you know what I'm like with starts sometimes, and I'm not good at them. So lost out to Larkin and almost lost out to Beck as well, but just hold it. So yeah, literally just trundled along on my own. No complaints.
Yeah, obviously, P2, no complaints on, I believe this is your debut in the EU tier, if I'm not mistaken, for Season 5. But yeah, quite a quiet race. You said that you wanted to go for fastest lap, and it didn't go too well. Was there an attempt at it? I'm sure you saw Larkin go for his third pit stop onto the next set of soft tires, and he
Yeah,
kind of gave up on it after that.
yeah. There was a bit of an attempt, and then just didn't get it. So, and it just in the end, just kind of just drove the rest of the race I could. Try to catch up to Becker, maybe just get past him on the line, but luckily he had a penalty and I didn't. So, just kind of chilled out.
Yeah. Anyways, now on to Beck. If I can get the
Hello.
right car up on the screen. I believe it is AlphaTauri. So yeah, Beck started P4, pretty decent quality from yourself, and then moved up that one position into P3. Obviously, the penalty cost you
Yes.
chance at a second place, but I'm sure you're very very happy with that.
Yeah, it's about time I've got on the podium. It's hard when you got the Excel boys who are all really quick, so to get a podium it's good. It's good.
Yeah, I have indeed updated the standings. You're now on 38 points, 11th in the championship, and it is your first third place now. Besides not finishing last time out in Australia, 2 fifth places in a row. So a little bit on a run of form, if you want to say.
Yeah, I mean, like when I when I finish the races, I'm fine. But obviously, you commentated enough on the races to know that I'm susceptible to the odd moment here and there. So, I mean, it's good to finish. It's a track that I like. So, yeah, I'd be disappointed if I didn't finish well here.
Yeah, I think we're all susceptible to an odd moment, considering my week. Anyways, yeah, thank you boys for joining into the commentators
Thank you.
booth. Pleasure as always, and
No
yeah.
problem.
So yeah, tier 1 is going to be on Monday. We're going to be heading to Spain, into Barcelona for the Spanish Grand Prix, and then as per usual, 8 p.m. Eastern for tier 1 and tier 2 Monday and Thursday, and then back here once again on Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. GMT for the Spanish Grand Prix, and I believe that is going to be the last race before the second of the final break week, and then we can head into the final leg of the season, and we can get these championships all figured out. Anyways, it's been a great race from the EU tier and commentary from myself, and that's been all, folks.